Hello, everybody, and welcome to How Would I Judge Drag Race Philippines Season 1. The season ended literally earlier today, so now we're filming the video for it. This is the first of these videos that I'm filming after my last video kind of blew the fuck up a little bit. So thank you all to those who watched that video and who are hopefully watching this video. I really appreciate you all. Some quick things to go into before we get into the actual thing is that I want to reiterate that ultimately my opinions do not matter. My opinions only matter to myself. They're the only ones they should really matter to. So if you disagree with something I said, that is cool. And if you want to comment like, I think this person should win the challenge, like, cool, do that. But if you comment like, this person should win the challenge and you're stupid for thinking different, well then like I okay, good for you. Like I'm not gonna give your comment the time of day. Like I'm open for healthy discussion, but I'm not open for just like random negativity because I'm gonna read it once and then just like never look at it again. So yeah, let's just get started, I guess. The rules to remember, as always, are the season has to be as long as season 1 originally was, which is 10 episodes, and the performances and the challenges need to be based off of how well someone did or how people would predict they would do. I'm not just going to put somebody in the bottom if they were in the top, and vice versa, unless, there is like major fan like backing that, a person who was in the bottom should have been in the top or vice versa. The goal of this is to act as if I'm the head judge and craft the season however I can imagine to make it as fun and eventful as possible, and also to be fair with my judging of the season by combining my own personal taste and what was shown to us on the show. This season, especially along with really any other seasons that do not use English as like the primary language, there are most likely going to be some like cultural references that I just do not know because I am not from the Philippines or am like deep into Filipino pop culture. So there might be some placements that I have placed because of my context of what situations are and the comedy of a situation, but they might actually be super funny and I just didn't know it. And if I had that context, I would think it's funny, but I don't have it. So I just want to keep that in mind. And also, I actually haven't watched every single part of this season. I have seen every single challenge, runway, lip sync, and the beginning of the episodes. I've skipped almost all of the workroom conversations just because the episodes were pretty long and I've had like 6 different shows I've been trying to watch at this point. I've been trying to watch The Mole, I've been trying to, watch The Amazing Race, Drag Race UK, I've been trying to get back into The Genius. There's been too much and so I had to skim somewhere, so hopefully that doesn't really interact with any of this and like make this whole video worse. I guess the only part that it could affect would be my like storylines and like what I'm thinking of what the stories of the season would be, but I still have a pretty good idea of what those would be based off of what I know and what I've seen. So let us head over to episode 1. Okay, originally in episode 1, there were I think 5 people in the top. I'm not going to be doing that. If there was, like 6 tops and 6 bottoms, that would be okay, but like there wasn't, so we're just gonna do 3 and 3 like it's usually done. And actually we're gonna give the win to somebody who placed safe in this episode, and that's gonna be Precious Paula Nicole. I really loved her performance. When I watched it, I was like, oh, she's gonna like win this. I really loved it. And then she wasn't even like, she didn't even get a high placement for it. And I was like, what do you mean? She did great. So I'm putting her in as the winner for this challenge. I thought she fucking killed this. I was entertained from the first second to the final second. So she's going to win this challenge. Minty Fresh is going to go from the win placement down to high because she still killed the challenge, but I just really enjoyed Precious Paula Nicole's talent show. And then the one high that gets to keep their placement is going to be Venus Deluxe. I just preferred hers the next best out of all the people that placed high, and really just everyone else in general. For our safe placements, we have Brigading, Corazon, Eva La Queen, Marina Summers, Turing, and Silhouette. I took Silhouette out of the low placement into the safe placement because I thought Gigi Era, who's now low, I just thought she did worse. I thought Silhouette's was, I mean, it was very, like, the energy throughout wasn't, it didn't have like peaks or valleys. It was kind of the same, like, energy throughout the whole thing. But like with that, it was like, okay, this is fine. I thought I was actively like, I don't really, not a big fan of what Gigi's doing. So I decided to move Silhouette up into the safe placement and put Gigi as low. And the bottom two, we have our same bottom two as original. We have Lady Morgana and Prince. And they are going to be lip syncing to Tala by Sarah Geronimo. And Lady Morgana kind of bodies this lip sync, I gotta say. Lady Morgana is just so. I just want to watch her do like anything. She's just so fun to watch. She's one of the like top like three people for me that I just want to watch lip syncs because she's just fun. Like all her lip syncs she did, she never really did a bad one. She's great. But yeah, Lady Morgana is going to stay. Prince is going to be eliminated. But Prince was great. I fucking love this photo of Prince. Prince's promo, just like specifically Prince's promo face, I think is my favorite face out of all of them. I just love it. It's just like, yeah, bitch, and what? It's perfect. It's like shady bitch without being like super shady bitch. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense, but I know what I mean, and that's all that matters. So, yeah, Prince is going to be eliminated here, and we're going to move on to episode 2. Alrighty, episode 2, we have the Sagalamazon Design Challenge. Before I go any further, if I mispronounce any words in this episode, I apologize. I've looked up all the words that I'm gonna have to say to make sure I pronounce them correctly, but there's a decent chance that I'll accidentally fuck up a word and I just won't realize, so I apologize. Yeah, we have our design challenge this episode, or they have to do a look inspired by the Flores de Mayo festival. And originally Minty Fresh won the first episode and was high the second, but I decided to switch the placements for her because I loved this look from her. Minty Fresh is going to win this challenge. She killed this for me. I loved it. God, was it so good. It was so good. I love this outfit. Which does mean that Venus Deluxe is going to move down to high placement, and it's going to have, well, 2 highs in a row, actually. Her look was still awesome, but I just liked Minty's better. And originally, Precious Paula Nicole was high for this challenge, but I actually moved her down to safe. Not because I didn't dislike her look, I just liked Silhouette's better. And honestly, this is probably a little bit of a bias for me because I love Silhouette's aesthetic. It's like dark and classy. It's just chef's kiss. I love it. Like I love that she like almost exclusively wears like black hair. I love it. Anyways, yeah, she moves up into the high placement for me because I love her look. I think it was just like, it was like all black and had like red flowers and stuff. It was just, when she had this like long black, I think it was kind of like wavy, crimpy wig. I can't remember. I loved it. Anyways, safe today we have Brigading, Evil Queen, Lady Morgana, Marina Summers, and Precious Paula Nicole. And our bottom 3 placements are all exactly the same. Gigi Era is going to place low again this week. And our bottom 2 are going to be Turing and Corazon, and they're going to be lip syncing to I'm Feeling Sexy Tonight by Chona Cruz. And Turing is going to win the lip sync because, yeah, she just does better in it. And Corazon is going to be sent home as she was originally. And yeah, we're going to move on to episode 3. Episode 3 is the Girl Groups Challenge, where they do a pop-off ate, which is, oh my god, I literally still get some of these verses stuck in my head. For some reason nowadays, it's the Lady Morgana and Brigadings, just like ping pong back and forth in my brain. I don't have an explanation. It switches all the time. It was Turing's, then it was Marina Summers, and then it was Brigadings, and then Turing's, and now it's Brigadings and Lady Morgana's. It's a whole lot. But yeah, since all the same contestants are here, they're going to be in the same groups. And the group, who is it? Flex Bomb, of course. They are going to be the winning team of the challenge, and since Turing did the best, Turing is going to win. So Turing is going to get that win placement, and Brigading, Eva La Queen, Lady Morgana, and Marina Summers are all going to place high. And the second team, Pink Pussy Energy, they're all going to have the same placements as well. Venus Deluxe and Precious Paul and Nicole are going to be safe. Minty Fresh will be low, and Silhouette and Gigi Era are going to be the bottom two. They're going to lip sync to Glamazon by RuPaul. And this is one of my favorite lip syncs of the season. It's not like my favorite. We'll get to those much later. But this is a great lip sync. And I feel like people talked about it when it came out, but this is like, it's really genuinely like great. Silhouette is going to be Gigi Era, and she's going to go home. And Gigi Era was very fun during this season. I forgot to mention Corazon during that portion. Corazon was also fun while we had her. I feel like a lot of this cast was just super. This is just a fun cast in general. I'm just gonna say that up there so I don't have to call anybody else fun later, because they're all fun. This is a very fun cast. I don't know why that's like the best word to describe it, but it is. This is just like a really fucking good season of Drag Race. But yeah, Gigi Era is going to go home, sadly, and we are going to move on to episode 4. Episode 4, we have the Opium Divas, the Rusical Challenge. This is a prime example of a challenge where I just do not have like good context on these divas. I knew one of these divas before I watched this challenge, and that was Leah Salonga, and that's only because she is voiced. She voiced, I believe, Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine and Mulan. So that's really that was the only context I had going into watching this challenge for the first time. So as you can see, I didn't stray too far from the placements. The placements of this episode were slightly like odd compared to standard Drag Race like rules of placements. Like there's 4 highs and 2 bottoms and like 3 safes. It's a weird distribution. I essentially kept it the same, but like made it a more like standard distribution. But I did make one solid change, and that was I put Venus Deluxe as the winner of the challenge, because I was dying during her part. I fucking loved it. I was glued to my fucking phone screen while watching it. It was so good. And I mean, this episode kind of seemed like it was in a way set up for Precious Paul and Nicole to win originally, because I mean, the person that she was impersonating was literally sitting there watching, and we had her song as the lip sync song. Yeah, it seems like Precious Paul Nicole should have won this challenge, but I said, nah, Venus Deluxe is winning. She gave me everything in this challenge. Yeah, Precious Paul Nicole is going to be moved on to high then. And Marina Summers and Silhouette both have a high placement for this episode. I decided to give it to Marina. I just preferred her performance. The safe contestants are Eva La Queen, Minty Fresh, and Silhouette. There originally was not a low placement. I decided to give it to Brigading, because I just thought she did the worst out of that group. Did I consider putting Brigading on the bottom? I think I did for a moment, but I decided to not do that. Lady Morgana and Turing are going to be the bottom 2, and they are going to be lip syncing to Shine by Regina Velasquez. And God, I wish Turing did better in this lip sync. I wish I could rig it for Turing, but you can't. I couldn't. It wasn't close enough to be like, screw it, Turing wins, Lady Morgana did win this lip sync. She's going to stay, and then Turing is going to go home. But Turing is such an icon, and I want to see her for like some versus the world season, or I just want Turing to do, hell, Queens Who Like to Watch. I would love to see I just want to see Turing do more things that are, Drag Race related. She's just so fun. So I fucking used the word fun again after I said it, but she's very talented. She's a fucking amazing dancer. Her fucking verse was amazing. In the Pop Off That Day challenge. Yeah, she's great. Let's move on to episode 5. Alrighty, episode 5, we have the Miss Shutaka pageant. This is my least favorite episode of the season. This challenge was a slog, I'm not gonna lie. That is one of the downfalls of these episodes, that sometimes these challenges, like, you could have got 10 minutes off of this, and we would have gotten what we needed to get. We'll get that later with Snatch Game, but Snatch Game was actually fine. But I had a better time with that than this. But yeah, let's just get into the placements. Marina Summers is gonna win as she did originally. She was what was her character supposed to be? I honestly don't even 100% remember. But Marina Summers is going to win this challenge as she did originally. She killed it. This was like a good challenge for her to win. She really did great. And Precious Paula Nicole is going to place high as she did originally. Her character was also really funny, really great. And Minty Fresh is going to actually be moved into the high placement over Zilhouette. It seems like a lot of my placements just revolve around the changing of where Zilhouette has been placed, because the two times at the beginning of the season I moved her up in order to benefit her because I thought she did better, and then twice in a row I moved her down because I didn't think she did as well as she was advertised. Um, but yeah, Minty Fresh is going to be high instead this time. And Zilhouette is going to be with Venus Deluxe as safe. Venus Deluxe was originally low. I did not understand that. I did not think she should have been low. I thought it should have been Eva LaQueen. Eva LaQueen had the kind of like American pageant contestant like role in it, and she didn't do bad. I just thought that Venus did better. I was kind of getting a little bit bored by Eva's. Like Eva's wasn't actively bad, but in comparison to the five that I think did better, it was just like, well, okay, Eva goes here because I was not as invested. Um, the bottom two are going to be Brigading and Lady Morgana, as they were originally. I think they deserve that bottom two pretty solidly. And they are going to lip sync to Ate Sandali by Maurice Racal. And this is Lady Morgana's third time in the bottom and Brigading's first. So most statistics say that Lady Morgana is going to go home here, and I think she did worse in lip sync. So Brigading is going to stay, and Lady Morgana, our Miss Congeniality, is going to sashay away. And we're going to move on to episode 6. Episode 6 is going to be the Snatch Game episode. Um, so we are going to start off with Zilhouette is going to win the challenge as she did originally. Her character was so great. It was kind of a slow build for her. And honestly, I guess if we hadn't really seen all of the content that we did, then I would maybe think differently about Zilhouette winning. But Zilhouette's character really rose, and that is something that is good for Snatch Game. If you're really super funny, you can stay at that level, but otherwise you really kind of need to start up and then rise, and she definitely did that. So I really respect her winning this challenge. Marina Summers is going to be placing high as she did originally. And Eva LaQueen was originally high, but I didn't find her character super funny. We also just didn't get a lot of her. As I was watching, I had seen the placements before watching the episode. I was like, Eva LaQueen's high for this? I wasn't, as I was watching, I was like, I really don't understand. She didn't do bad. I put her safe. I only plunked her with one placement lower, but I just didn't understand. So I put Precious Paula Nicole as high, even though she was low originally. Oh no, actually she was safe originally. That's my bad. Venus Deluxe was low. I just decided to swap those two because I thought Precious Paula Nicole did better. Venus Deluxe is going to be low for this challenge. She definitely had the kind of reverse Zilhouette, where she started off super high, and I was like, I don't understand why she's going to be placing low here, and then it kept going, and I was like, oh, yeah, she definitely petered out. That is understandable. I believe, yeah, she switched characters in the middle, right? Yeah. It made sense as we got later on. I was like, oh, yeah, that's why. But yeah. And then so our bottom two are going to be Minty Fresh and Brigading. And originally this was a double Shantae, but I decided to keep Minty Fresh over Brigading. They lip synced to the song Amacabo Guerra by Meme Entrada. I just thought Minty Fresh did better. I mean, obviously, the judges don't know during the lip sync portion, but the fact that that was allegedly Minty Fresh's first ever death drop ever is incredibly impressive and honestly puts her as the immediate win for me. Like she could have just stood there the rest of the time. I would have been like, she could have pulled a Starlet the rest of the time. That's so mean. I apologize. But she really could have just stood there the whole time, and I would have been like, yes, you fucking did it, bitch. You pass go. You stay. Stay. You know, Shantae. Brigading is going to be eliminated here. Sadly, I do wish Brigading got like a better chance to like shine throughout the season. It's my understanding that she's like pretty popular, and the fact that she didn't really like the only like high placement she got was I believe for the girl groups challenge. I wish she kind of had the ability to show more, but sadly she didn't. And she is going to go home here. And we're going to move on to episode 7. Alrighty, here we are at episode 7. I am going to take this opportunity to kind of describe what I kind of feel like the vibe would be for the storylines this season. I honestly don't see much happening differently because we really have very similar placements throughout, but a lot of them are just kind of respread to kind of fit how I feel like things should have gone. But I really do kind of feel like we still have the storylines of like Silhouette and Marina Summers and their kind of like starting kind of feud situation. And then, you know, that developing and them growing with each other. And then, you know, at the end of the season, as originally we saw they're, you know, like they're like holding each other's hand and like raising up in the air during their lip sync at the final 4. I think we have that similar situation going on. I think Precious Pearl and Nicole gets a similar storyline. I think Minty Fresh gets a similar storyline. I guess the only difference, the only main one that I really think would be we are going to be eliminating Eva LaQueen here, as I will get to later. But I really think the storyline is almost like we have these like 5 dominant players throughout the season, and it's almost kind of like, you know, how do how do these like people like dominating presences kind of like get along? I feel like this more almost goes into like we have our like actually I would probably say these 6. Eva LaQueen kind of can fall into this category too because she was kind of the narrator of the season originally. But I really feel like we kind of focus a bit on like how do the like dominant like winning contestants and versus kind of the contestants who are not able to win these challenges. I almost feel like it kind of gets to be similar to like season 7 of Drag Race in a way, which I feel like is not the critique that anybody wants to hear. But I kind of feel like it is because like in season 7 you had like the final 5 contestants who would like be winning. Then you have somebody touring who goes out early who was a win, kind of playing the similar role to Max in season 7. And I feel like it's almost like similar storylines there, just like done better, if that makes sense. That's the best way that I can compare it to, and that's the best way I can get it out of my brain into your brains. Sadly, that's very intimate. Minty Fresh is going to win the ball she did originally. Her outfits were so stellar. Oh my god, I still think of the leopard print. Like, I thought about it just like earlier today, like not even like thinking about this. I was like, oh yes, that leopard print outfit was just chef's kiss. I loved it. High placing is going to be Silhouette in this challenge. The way I do final 6s is I do one of every placement. So I did take Marina Summers out of the high placement, put her down to safe. Which actually, there was 7 in this challenge originally, so it makes sense that you know one person is going to be taken out. And I decided to keep Zillow in the high placement and move Marina down to safe for that. Originally, Venus Deluxe was in the bottom 2 in this challenge and actually went home, but I don't think she should have. I thought her outfits were fine. I mean, I think they were worse than the 3 that did better, but like I don't think she did as bad as as kind of the judges originally like implied that she did. So I moved her up to the low placement and I moved Precious Pearl and Nicole down to the bottom 2. I thought her outfits were worse. It's just personally in my opinion, even though I love her, I love Precious Pearl and Nicole, but I do think she should have been the bottom 2 for this. Precious Pearl and Nicole and Eva LaQueen are going to lip sync to Born Naked by RuPaul. We know that Precious Pearl and Nicole can turn a fucking lip sync. I mean, literally earlier today we saw that that she won a lip sync against Eva the Queen, and I think she could very well do that here. Oh, she won to a RuPaul song as well. Yeah, oh, for sure. She's definitely, I think, winning this. Sadly, Eva the Queen is going to be eliminated here. Not going to make the finale in this scenario. And we're going to move on to episode 8. Episode 8 is the Makeover Challenge. We have Venus Deluxe here, who's not here originally. This is the only time we've had a contestant in this season who was not originally in a challenge participating in one. How do I think she would do? I think she'd probably be in the bottom. I just feel that she would be there. We saw in the other design challenges of the season, I think the first one, she actually won that challenge, but in this most recent one, she was low for it. So I don't feel super confident about Venus Deluxe in this challenge, and also she had placed low twice before this challenge, so I think that she would most likely be in the bottom 2 here along with Minty Fresh. But to the other side of the table, Silhouette is going to win as she did originally. And originally, both, I believe, yeah, no, who was high for this challenge originally? It was Precious Paul Nicole was high for this challenge originally, and I moved her down to safe because I just didn't think she did as well as she was advertised as doing, and I moved Marina Summers up to high. Because originally she was low, and I thought that was kind of ridiculous. She did not deserve that. And while I don't do low placements in the final 5, I still would not have put her in the bottom 2 or safe for this challenge. I genuinely think she did the second best, and it seems like a lot of people agree. Maybe not agree that she should have been high, but at least agree that she should not have placed in the bottom. She should have been at least safe. So yeah, she's going to place high here. And the bottom 2 are going to be Minty Fresh and Venus Deluxe. And they are going to be lip syncing to Diosa by Yumi Laksamana. And we saw in the season that Venus Deluxe, once she had to lip sync, did not do that great. And Minty Fresh, although wasn't one of the best lip syncers on the season, I do think she would have done better. And so Venus Deluxe is going to go home here. Minty Fresh is going to stay. We're going to move on to episode 9. Episode 9 was the music video challenge situation. And originally this was an elimination episode, but I decided to make this just a standard, like, you know, like they do a music video and do a runway and you all move on to the finale episode because I just think it makes the most sense here. I didn't really feel a need during the season to give a double Shantae, so it just makes the most sense to say, you know, here you all are, you get to move on to the top 4, congratulations, let's move on. So, yeah, let us do that. Let's move on to episode 10, the finale. Alrighty, here we are at the finale. Now, this finale format is going to be exactly the same as the one we just saw. Originally, which is going to be the top 4, like lip sync SmackDown for the crown situation. So the way that I tend to, or that I've done this in the past for the purposes of this video is, I'm going to talk through the different scenarios, but the winner of the season is the person who will have like won the most times, or I just like think is like generally the winner and should win. I think really anybody would most likely beat in a lip sync against Minty Fresh. That's not saying that Minty Fresh is not a good lip syncer. Minty Fresh is a good lip syncer, but she's just, I think, in general, going to be worse than the other 3. We've seen Marina Summers beat Silhouette in a lip sync originally, so she would most likely beat her again there. And the final 2 lip sync, even though I think Precious Paul and Nicole did better in that final 2 lip sync we saw originally, I think Marina Summers could win a lip sync against Precious Paul and Nicole. I just think in general, as long as they're not going against each other the first round, I think our top 2 are Marina Summers and Precious Paul and Nicole. If they do go against each other, it's one of them versus Silhouette. And again, as I said in that final lip sync, which was to a Sirena, I actually did not look up how to pronounce that one at all, so I apologize. By Glock 9. Um, Even though Precious Paul and Nicole did better, Marina Summers does have a better track record up to this point. And also definitely has like the fan backing. So for choosing scenarios in the aftermath, I would say give the win to Marina Summers. But if Marina Summers is not there in that top two, give it to Precious Paul and Nicole. So that's kind of why I have listed them as I have. Marina is kind of the winner. Precious Paul and Nicole is kind of our solid runner-up, and then Minty Fresh and Silhouette are just alphabetical order beside her. So yeah, let's look at our track records. Here are the track records for the season. As you can see in the scenario, Marina Summers has not fallen into the bottom at all, has a 3.75, which is pretty killer. And the way that I do track records is I only count rounds 1 through 8 in those. So you see the 3.75, that's for rounds 1 through 8. There are no points for episode 9 or for the finale. I don't do that. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like doing it. So I don't. So yeah, those are all those for you. So yeah, oh, I do want to mention how interesting round 3 looks, because everybody except Marina Summers from that winning group gets eliminated in a row in this scenario, and then Marina Summers goes on to win the season. That could also be like a whole storyline thing that happens, you know? That would be fun. I just thought of that kind of just now, but that would be fun. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you wish, leave a comment about how you feel. Just don't make it too negative. And yeah, again, thank you all so much for watching this video. And I will see you all in the next one. Oh, also, please leave in the comments down below which season you want to see next, because if it's a season I've seen and you want it to happen, then most likely within the coming weeks it will happen. So yeah, please do so. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again next time. As always, take care. Bye-bye.